The summer of 1945 in Hiroshima and Nagasaki was a season like any other, filled with the simple routines of daily existence. The world was at war, but life persisted, carrying on with an understated resilience. It was a time filled with ordinary joys, moments of connection and laughter shared among families, a sense of normalcy amidst the global turmoil. These were the precious, everyday experiences that defined life. Children chased dragonflies through sun-drenched fields, their carefree games echoing with the sounds of innocence. They played by the riverbanks, their laughter mingling with the gentle flow of the water. Mothers haggled in bustling markets, carefully selecting ingredients for family meals. The vibrant atmosphere was filled with the aroma of fresh produce and the lively chatter of vendors and shoppers. Families gathered at dusk, sharing stories and meals as the day drew to a close. These were moments of togetherness, strengthening the bonds that held communities together. The rivers and hills shaped daily life, providing sustenance and defining the landscape. They were integral to the identity of these cities. Streetcars rattled through the city's streets, carrying people to their destinations, while bells called the faithful to prayer at the majestic Urakami Cathedral. Despite wartime hardship, hope and community endured, fostering a spirit of mutual support and resilience. People helped each other through the difficult times, sharing what little they had. People believed in the promise of tomorrow, holding on to the hope for a brighter future, a time of peace and prosperity. Trusting the sun would rise as always, bringing with it the possibility of renewal and a return to normalcy. In schools, children dreamed of the future, envisioning careers, families, and a world filled with opportunity. Unaware their world was about to change forever, their innocence soon to be shattered by an unimaginable event. On August 6th, Hiroshima awoke to a perfect blue sky, a seemingly ordinary start to what would become an extraordinary day. It was a day like any other, people going to work, children heading to school, the city humming with activity. Until it wasn't. The normalcy was about to be ripped away, replaced by something horrific and unprecedented. In Nagasaki, life followed its own gentle rhythm, a slower pace dictated by tradition and the surrounding landscape. The city cradled by hills and faith, its people finding solace in their community and the spiritual guidance of the Urakami Cathedral. No one could imagine the new kind of sun that was coming, a blinding light that would forever alter the course of history. The world was about to be remade in fire, a cataclysmic event that would leave an indelible mark on the human psyche. Without warning, a flash brighter than 1,000 suns erupted in the sky. It was a light unlike anything ever witnessed, a searing, blinding pulse that heralded unimaginable destruction. In a cataclysmic instant, it erased Hiroshima from the face of the earth. The vibrant city, teeming with life just moments before, was now ground zero. In an instant, the city was incinerated, reduced to ash and rubble by the unimaginable heat. Fires raged uncontrollably, consuming what little remained. Buildings folded like paper, their steel frames twisted and contorted by the sheer force of the blast. Bridges twisted into grotesque sculptures of metal, their once proud spans now symbols of utter devastation. Lives vanished in the blink of an eye, vaporized by the intense heat or crushed beneath the collapsing structures. The silence that followed the initial flash was quickly shattered with a deafening roar, a thunderous explosion that echoed across the landscape. It was a blast that flattened everything in its path, leaving behind a wasteland of unimaginable destruction. A monstrous mushroom cloud climbed relentlessly into the sky, a terrifying symbol of the power unleashed. It blotted out the sun, casting a dark shadow over the ravaged landscape and signaling a new era of fear. 3 days later, the world held its breath, unaware of the horror that was about to be repeated. Nagasaki suffered the same horrific fate, becoming the second city to be decimated by an atomic bomb. The Urakami Cathedral, a symbol of faith and community, disappeared without a trace, swallowed by the inferno. Industry was crushed, factories reduced to twisted metal and smoldering ruins, crippling the city's ability to function. The hills surrounding Nagasaki funneled the destruction, amplifying the blast's impact and leaving no corner of the city untouched. For those below, caught in the epicenter of the blast, it was the end of the world as they knew it. Shadows of people and objects were burned into stone, ghostly reminders of lives extinguished in an instant. Lives erased in a heartbeat, leaving behind only echoes of what once was. This was not war as anyone had known it, not the calculated destruction of armies and infrastructure. It was annihilation, the complete and utter destruction of entire cities and their populations. The age of innocence ended abruptly, shattered by the dawn of a new and terrifying reality. The nuclear age began, ushering in an era of unprecedented danger and uncertainty. Humanity had stolen fire from the stars, unlocking the secrets of atomic energy. But instead of using it for the betterment of mankind, it unleashed it on itself, forever changing the course of history. After the flash, a world of twilight and dust emerged. Black rain fell, greasy, radioactive, poisoning earth and skin. Survivors wandered, burned and dazed, searching for water and loved ones. The cities were wastelands, rivers choked with the dead, hills scorched bare. The Hibakusha, those marked by the blast, carried invisible wounds. Radiation haunted them, a silent killer in their cells. In the rubble, melted tricycles, scorched lunchboxes, and frozen watches told stories of lives stolen. Burned photographs became the last fragile links to a vanished world. The silence was a graveyard's hush. These were the relics and ghosts of the Kingdom of Shadows. In the immediate aftermath of the atomic blast, the landscape of Hiroshima was unrecognizable. Where a vibrant city once stood, there was now only a desolate expanse of rubble and ash. Amidst this devastation, a quiet struggle for survival began. The survivors, known as Hibakusha, faced unimaginable challenges. With their bare hands, the Hibakusha cleared rubble, sifting through the debris in search of loved ones and any semblance of their former lives. They built makeshift shelters from salvaged materials, offering a small measure of protection against the elements. These temporary homes became symbols of resilience in the face of utter destruction. Despite their own suffering, the survivors shared what little they had with one another. Acts of kindness and compassion emerged from the ashes, demonstrating the enduring strength of the human spirit. Doctors, many of whom were also victims of the blast, treated hundreds of patients with almost nothing. Medical supplies were scarce, and the scale of the disaster overwhelmed the available resources. Teachers, determined to provide some sense of normalcy, gathered orphans under the open sky, holding classes amidst the ruins. Education became a beacon of hope for the children who had lost everything. Each act of care, each gesture of solidarity, was a defiance against destruction, a testament to the indomitable will to survive. It was a promise that life would go on, that even in the face of unimaginable loss, the human spirit could endure. From the scorched earth, green shoots began to emerge, a symbol of nature's resilience and the promise of renewal. And a camphor tree's new leaves, pushing through the charred bark, became potent symbols of resilience, a reminder that even after devastation, life could find a way. Community and shared memory gave strength to the survivors, binding them together in their shared grief and their determination to rebuild. Stories of loss and survival were told, not for revenge or retribution, but for remembrance, to honor the dead and to ensure that their sacrifices would never be forgotten. The survivors knew that their witness, their first-hand experience of the horrors of nuclear war, must serve as a warning to the world to prevent such a catastrophe from ever happening again. Their survival, their unwavering commitment to peace, was a seed of hope, planted in the desolation of Hiroshima, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. And so, in the heart of ruin, amidst the devastation and despair, hope quietly returned, carried on the shoulders of the survivors, a beacon of light in the darkness. The promise etched in stone, whispered in the wind, carried in the hearts of the Hibakusha, never again. Today, Hiroshima and Nagasaki are vibrant cities, their scars transformed. The Genbaku Dome stands as a vow for peace, not war. Where the bomb fell, gardens and memorials bloom, places of beauty and remembrance. The Hibakusha, now elders, share their stories worldwide, voices of reconciliation and hope. Their message is clear: life is precious, peace is possible. From the ashes, they rose, not for vengeance, but for a better world. The cities, once symbols of destruction, are now beacons of hope. Cherry blossoms bloom, children laugh, and temple bells ring again. This is the sound of a promise kept, the sound of peace.